saya sudah bersama dengan Abhijit Navalekar selaku Chief of Corporate Strategy and Business Development XL Axiata. Hi, sir. Thank you for being here today with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, could you please tell us about the insight about this fiber broadband business, especially in Indonesia? What's it like? What is the average home in Indonesia? Do we have access for a fixed network right now? What's it like here?
So Indonesia has witnessed significant economic growth over the past few years, and the government has been very active in building infrastructure. Telecoms is an important part of this infrastructure development. Despite that, if you look at the fixed broadband in Indonesia, it actually lags our peer group in Asia. So Indonesia has one of the lowest penetrations of fixed broadband in the world, actually, not even in Asia, even in the world, right? From that angle, what we see this as a market with tremendous opportunity. While the mobile market is pretty saturated and there are a number of strong players, there is significant room to play in the fixed broadband market. By that, what I mean is there is an opportunity to provide high quality, super fast broadband to households and provide them with connectivity as well.
What do you think about the potential of fixed network for fiber broadband in Indonesian market, especially for some parts of Indonesia as in secluded areas? What do you think about that?
I think Indonesia as a whole has a tremendous potential for fixed broadband. I mentioned that the penetration, that means the number of homes connected or the number of active customers in fixed broadband is the lowest in the world. So we are talking about, let's say, only 10% or 12% of the entire households in Indonesia that have fiber broadband. So from that perspective, the entire country, there is a lot of potential. Not only in major cities, but as you rightly pointed out, even in suburban areas and rural areas and the outer islands.
And what is the current coverage for XL Home?
So we started, we are a startup actually. So XL has been predominantly a mobile operator for over 25 years. And in 2018, we took the decision of entering the fixed broadband market. So we started deploying our network in 2019. And by the end of December of last year, we had achieved 250,000 homes passed, which is 250,000 homes passed. And we aim to keep on deploying our network in this year and the next.
In which areas or which of those you accommodated, which areas are those? And is it in Jakarta?
Now that's a very important question because selecting which areas to go to, it proves to be a major kind of competitive advantage or a disadvantage in this business, right? What we decided was, given that we are not the first entrant into the market, we are probably the fourth or fifth entrant into the market, we decided that we would actually go after cities which are not the tier 1 cities as per se. So we did not enter Jakarta directly, we entered into the suburbs of Jakarta. And then over the period of, over the course of last year, we went into outer cities, even outside Java, such as Makassar, Balikpapan, Banjarmasin, so on and so forth.
And other than that, do you have any plans on expanding your coverage?
Yes, as I mentioned, so we started our business end of 2018. Last year was about building the first phase of our network. So we have presence in around 10 cities across Indonesia, not only Java, outside Java. And this year we plan to do two things. One is increase the coverage within those cities as well as identify and target newer cities in Indonesia. So yes, we have aggressive plans of deploying a network.
All right, and we know that Indonesian archipelago itself is a country with over 16,000 islands. What are the challenges that you have to overcome in order to expand your market?
I think that's a very interesting and very pertinent question, right? Because it's a very complex geography. And we are talking about building a fixed line infrastructure. In a mobile business, you can just build a tower and put a base station and then the signal propagates over a wide area. But in a fixed network, you have to actually physically put fiber or coax, the technology of your choice, street by street, house by house, building by building. And imagine doing this over such a broad and diverse geography. So what we have decided is we will start with the major islands first, so Java, Sumatra, Sulawesi, Kalimantan, and cover the tier 1, tier 2 cities over there first, and then after that subsequently we go on to the outside islands.
What's the timeline like?
We don't like to see this business from a finite timeline perspective because once we have entered this business, then we intend to stay in this business. So let me give an example. XL as an operator has been in existence for the past 20-25 years. and we aim to be continue in this business. So same for the fixed infrastructure. We plan to be in this business for the foreseeable future.
And if we're talking about Indonesia itself, what's the market share of XL Home itself at the moment?
I think it's slightly premature for us to start thinking about market share because, as I mentioned, we are a startup. So we are not the first or even the second or even the third entrant into this market. We have actually come in very late, right? Having said that, the market itself has a huge opportunity. We are talking about a market with less than 10% penetration or about 10% penetration of fixed broadband. So the market itself has a huge opportunity to grow. Given that we just started our business last year, we launched our network last year. Right now, we are more focused on actually deploying in the right areas, building our network footprint, connecting households, and actually offering customers high quality, super fast broadband rather than start thinking about market share. I think it's a bit premature.
Yeah, and like you said, XL Home is pretty new to the market. And what do you think should be the company's strategy in order to compete with other players?
So we have entered a slightly crowded marketplace. Having said that, there are two kind of major competitors while the rest of the playing field is pretty fragmented. Right? So when we entered the business, we decided that we do not want to become a pay TV operator, because typically that's the model companies follow, where they offer broadband in combination with TV packages, etc., etc. Right? So we decided that we will enter the content side of the equation, but not as a pay TV operator. Our strategy is to offer high quality, super fast broadband through fiber. So it's an internet-led proposition first, and then on top of that, we will offer the customers different products and services. Now, the first product we have offered is a set-top box, and I think we have just positioned it here so that you can see. So this is the product we offer the customer, high quality, super fast broadband through fiber, and an Android-powered set-top box on which we have a lot of content. There is a lot of free content, and there are a lot of apps where the customer can choose what she wants, when to watch, and she can subscribe to any content that she wants. So this is the initial proposition.
The unique feature that XL Home has to offer. But like, what do you think makes Indonesian market so unique compared to other Asian countries?
First of all, the size of the market, right? We are talking about a market with 300 million odd people. We are talking about an economic, social, political, business environment that is very conducive for growth. And this is impacting not only telecoms, but other sectors, banking, consumer goods, energy, you name it, right? So we are in a market which has got a huge population, which has got a young population. Over 50% of the population is below the age of 30, which is on a growth path and which is pretty stable from the 4 parameters I mentioned. I think all these factors indicate that this market is poised for significant growth, and especially in telecom services.
Okay, with the rising popularity of streaming services like Netflix, iFlix, and Catch Play Plus, and other newcomers coming, what does this mean for XL Home? But we will continue the dialogue after the break.